Hey everybody, welcome to the Friday edition of Warrior Daily, and joining me this week is Kelly LaCroix, the head diving coach here at Wayne State. Coach, we haven't had you on Warrior Daily before, but I felt like we had to have you on this year because your divers now more than ever are making significant contributions to the success of the entire swimming and diving program with the GLIAC Championships just a couple weeks away, and your own diving invitational coming up tomorrow here at the Mathi. 6 divers already qualified for nationals. Seemingly they've been qualified for a while and have just continued to hold steady and progress as we lead through the winter months.
Well, when we end up starting the season, there's already a handful of people that have qualified before that I'm looking to have them get that early qualification, especially with the team as large as I have it. This is the largest team I've ever had. I've got 13 divers, 7 gentlemen and 6 females. So it's a little overwhelming. There's only 3 people that we can end up diving at one time on each side. So my goal is to end up getting those that are have qualified before to get that early qualification. And so that way it gives the other kids a chance that are trying to get qualified, that opportunity. They have changed the regulations now that the exhibition divers can qualify for nationals at the same time. So that made it a little bit easier this year.
The point swing that is available with diving at some of these championship meets is pretty substantial, and especially now over the last few years with the added depth of this diving program. In years past, you'd maybe have 1 or 2 All-Americans at the most in any given year. Now we're talking about 4 or 5, maybe even 6. It speaks a lot to just the growth of this program.
Yeah, it was, I remember having just 2 athletes on the team when I started here in '93. I just had 2 guys, there was no girls whatsoever. Then I ended up, gradually we started bringing girls in. The one that really kind of set the program, to the level that it is now is Erica Barzak. When she had, gone to nationals her 4 years in a row. She set the bar for that, and then I was able to end up recruiting accordingly. And I've gotten more and more quality kids here.
And you actually have now someone who kind of followed in Erica's footsteps, helping you out as an assistant coach. And
yes, Cassie Chesky. She was my national champion.
Yep, the first one in the history of the diving program, which a tremendous honor for her.
Yeah,
and
that was very, very exciting.
I'm sure passing a lot of that on to the student athletes on your squad
Yes.
today, many of whom are very talented and gained some valuable experience last year.
Yeah, like I said, we have a huge squad this year. The good thing is I have a lot of talent on this team. A lot of returning talent and a lot of freshman talent. They work extremely well together. I couldn't ask for a better group of kids. And there's some that definitely are just starting out. There were several of them that never even had any 3-meter experience. So those early days were quite fun and exciting, getting them through their fear of smacking and just jumping off the high board. And now they're all throwing their dives, and there still might be a little bit of fear, but they see the upperclassmen take their hits and go, okay, well, I'm in the same boat they are. And the upperclassmen have actually really helped the underclassmen to get where they want to go. Kids that never thought they would be able to qualify for nationals are now looking to do that.
Take me through give me a little bit of a glimpse of a day in the life of a Wayne State diver, just the training regimen. I've talked with Sean about this a lot on the swimming side of things, and I know your student athletes on the diving side are equally committed.
Yes.
And I was joking with you just the other day that I don't know how you maintain your voice out on the deck, shouting in encouraging ways and providing instruction in that way, but just dive after dive and repetition and hard work is evident anytime you walk past the pool.
Yeah, they work really hard. We're in there a lot. I have them, because I have such a big team, I end up splitting the practices. So I'm generally here from 7:30 in the morning until 3 because I want them to end up having as small a group as possible for me to end up coaching. Having Cassie there, ends up helping because I can end up doing some other type of instruction than just constantly, do the repetition. I can work on more of the finer points while she's working on some of the drills. So it's been a great balance, just long days. Christmas training, when we're home, they don't like it because I work them to death. I actually pulled some of the moms that end up doing yoga and cardiovascular. I pulled them in and have them work the kids out over the break. So we were here a lot. They did well. They came out of it diving extremely well at Grand Valley. All 3 boys ended up breaking 300. That was phenomenal. That's just what they needed to end up doing to end up qualifying. Not qualifying, but they did. to end up getting that type of competition level going for nationals.
Yeah.
So, and the girls as well, they're constantly, going right after each other. So I love the internal competition that we have on deck. I love how they end up pushing each other. Like I said, they're extremely hard workers. It's kind of interesting because they're like a little army. They have their little tasks that they have to do, their pre-warm up, their drill work, and I don't have to really tell them to end up doing that. They just automatically go through and do it. So it's a nice routine that they have set. But again, we're dealing with a lot of injuries right now. That's the bad part of it. They work really hard, but unfortunately we're dealing with a lot of injuries this close to conference and nationals. But again, they're working hard to end up overcoming them. They're trying to rest, but at the same time still get the quality work in. I got 3 girls that are all trying to vie for the top 3 spots at nationals. I'm an optimist. I'd love to end up saying that's what's going to end up happening. It all comes down to the day. I prepare them for the best that they can be. I prepare myself to deal if it doesn't work out that way, to end up motivating them the right way.
Well, the final competition before we get to the GLIAC Championships in a couple weeks is tomorrow here
Yes.
at the Mathi,
Yes.
Wayne State Diving Invitational. Your goals and expectations for that event?
Well, we originally, this I think our 3rd year that we're having it, and it originally ended up being a last chance meet, like a last cut meet to end up qualifying for nationals, because we didn't, I think 3 years ago, we didn't have that many meets that they could end up qualifying for. So it ends up giving them their last ditch effort to end up putting all their dives together and doing well. Now it's grown to where we have Clarion coming in. That's our biggest competitor over at nationals. They're coming in this year, which I'm really excited about. Because we go head to head with them, over at nationals. We have Indy coming in. I'm sorry, Indy was supposed to, but they're not. Ashland's coming in. Finley's coming in. Hillsdale's coming in. So it's growing. Each year it's growing, and everyone's welcome. So whoever can end up coming to this meet, it's a fine tuning before conference. It's the first chance that they have to end up doing an 11 dive meet. We always end up having 6 dive meets. So this is kind of like a fine-tuning, last chance to end up qualifying, and plus a warm-up for GLIAC. So it ends up serving 3 different purposes.
Well, and hopefully this leads into the conference meet in a couple weeks, maybe a couple more conference titles, some more hardware for the trophy case here at the Mathi.
We keep our fingers crossed. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent over at Grand Valley. There's a lot of talent. There's a good boy over at Indy. We have a lot of talent on our deck. It basically comes down with diving, with swimming, I'm sure with any type of event. It comes down to that day in their performance, what their thought process is. And diving is a little bit more mental than any other sport. You have to end up being really square here, and almost lacking emotion to keep everything very analytical and in its spot. But if whoever ends up doing that, is capable of doing that, is going to end up coming out on top.
All right, well, we're going to look forward to hopefully some great success over the next couple of weeks, and especially tomorrow for the Diving Invitational, leading into GLIACs in a couple weeks, and then Nationals in March. And Kelly, thanks a lot for the insight.
Thank you.
All right, that's Kelly LaCroix joining me on this Friday edition of Warrior Daily.